Hi, welcome to today's episode of The Entrepreneur's Mind. Today I want to speak about pleasure and productivity. Why is it so important that we have joy and play and good feelings in our day to get more work done and to get better work done than if we wouldn't? And also, why do we know this, but it still doesn't happen? Why do we still so often feel like, productivity and work are one thing, pleasure, joy, having fun in our lives is another thing? And what can we do to change that? So we know, for example, that expectations are really crucial. So for one thing, to get us into action, to motivate us, to show us where we actually want to go, and what we're actually trying to fulfill here. But at the same time, they of course also can get in the way of us, moving lightly and joyfully and in a flow state maybe through the things we want to get done. So when it comes to expectations, of course, one thing is, fixed expectations, outside fixed expectations like the deadline you have to have your product shipped by, or, have this part of your project presented to certain people you want to maybe get enrolled into your thing or your idea or get the funding from or something. Or, you have to have all your paintings selected and maybe wrapped up to ship them to an exhibition or to a contest, because otherwise you can't take part. So sometimes, having outside expectations and deadlines can be really helpful for us, like I said, to know where we're actually focusing our energy towards or focusing our work towards. Of course, then if you don't have the right strategy in place to, to finish on time or have your product in a particular way ready at this particular point or in this way, or ship it in the way that your customer actually bought it, then of course you would possibly go into stress because all of a sudden you don't have enough time, or you feel like you don't have the right resources, you don't know where you can get help. But these are kind of the outside things. Normally with a bit of strategizing, we can sooner or later move through and get it done and have it finished at the right time in the right way and be like, great, this is great. The problem, of course, are those expectations which are more irrational and are based on our inside beliefs and stories we tell ourselves, and which are often much more vague, but really can get in the way of us producing our best work and do it in a joyful way. And that are, of course, all these expectations of, I have to make this product better. I have to, be the best worker or produce an even better report to my boss than my previous, the person who had previously my job, or, an expectation of, in this industry, if I want to be really good, I need to stay at work until 10 o'clock every day in the evening. Or, I'm expected to be a super high achiever mom and, build my business to 6 or 7 figures in this 1 year, or whatever it is. These are often these expectations which, on questioning, you're like, actually, yeah, possibly they're not true. Possibly you're right. That's actually not what it should be. But they can still often run subconsciously the show until we become aware of them. And as so often with the things I share, of course, the first thing is to become aware of them. So once you notice that you're really stressing around a certain thing, or, that you're really feeling tight and not light and free to move forward or getting the things done you want, that are of course the moments where you want to maybe check in with yourself and be like, what's really going on here? Like, why am I so stressed around this? Why do I put so much pressure on myself? Why am I not just getting it done and moving through it? Why does this feel like such a hard piece of work, or why am I getting so tight around it? And like I said, so you become aware of it and then you start to question it. So is this actually true that I, have to write this email in this particular way, because otherwise they will ignore me? Do you actually know that for sure? Again, like I said, sometimes it's strategy. Sometimes you feel like, I don't want to do this again because you haven't batched writing your articles or whatever it is. That can be sometimes a piece of strategy. But when you just try to measure up, or like this whole idea of being perfectionistic, then of course it's a moment where you want to put the brakes on, and that is leading me to my step 3. So becoming aware, questioning it, and then what do you do with it is of course really putting breaks into your rests into your day, making sure you have breaks, really putting breaks into your day. and starting to get playful around things, doing done over perfection, and also maybe finding these little pockets of. So I called it pleasure because for me, pleasure is really like, for example, it could be drinking a cup of tea mindfully for 5 minutes. It could be connecting to someone that you really cherish and love and trust for 5 minutes. It could be going outside, enjoying nature for 5 minutes, 2 minutes even, It could be stretching. It could be whatever it is that you feel like, oh, this is really going to nourish me. This is really going to, calm me down, because often, of course, what happens when we get stressed around something, we get very tired and we try to very hard and in a pushy way to get something done that just doesn't want to get done in this way. And that is where, having a mindful break of some sort is so beneficial. So we know, for example, that curiosity and playful are brilliant stress busters, because again, what do? They help us to have this distance and not get so sucked into whatever it is we're working on, but having this distance and this let's see what it looks like from here, or let's have a little play and see what happens, and you bring your imagination and your creativity back online, and it becomes more easy and joyful to do that. So what I just really want you to be aware of or get more aware of are those moments where you're trying to be really perfectionistic around a piece of work, or where you really feel like you're trying to over deliver to your customer because you think otherwise they will turn your back on you. Because that's often, of course, what's underneath is that our need for belonging and being appreciated and accepted for what we do is somehow compromised, and we're trying to make up for it by over delivering in the area of work and over delivering on maybe some very rational expectations of, let's say you're employed, like, can you have this report ready tomorrow? Or, you sell something and it says, okay, we'll be shipping this in 2 days after purchase. And that is a reasonable expectation. But then you start stressing about it because for some reason you think, oh, I'm not able to do this. So that are the moments where, you want to also reconnect. Why are you doing it? And also see where you can put more pleasurable experiences into your working day. Like I said, making sure you work in a beautiful environment, that, when you do interact with people, they are supporting people, or people who nourish yourself, or really contribute to your work, that you eat healthily and nourishing food and beautiful food throughout your day, that you of course do the whole self-care routine of having enough sleep and movement and exercise and dressing nicely, whatever it is, to really make sure you're having an awesome day, an awesome experience, while you engage in the thing you call your work, or the thing you want to make a difference with, or the thing you put all your heart and soul in to bring it out into the world. That is what I want for you, and that is what you, I guess, want for you, and where it really just helps, like what little thing can you change? Like, is there a different way you can write this email? Like, what would make a difference to make it more pleasurable? What would make it more pleasurable to phone this person, or to actually just start the project you've been procrastinating around? Like, what really could bring that spark back into it? Do share with what works for you or what doesn't work for you, because let's have this conversation, here or in private or wherever, and just make sure that your days really are filled with the ease and the joy that we all desire. And if you like these little videos I produce, just subscribe to them, or also comment if there's anything coming up to you, or if you reach out if you want my input on something. And have an awesome day and week, and until next time, bye.